This content, including all video, audio, images, text, and metadata, may not be copied, scraped, recorded, reproduced, mined, trained on, analyzed, or used in any dataset, algorithm, model, or derivative work by any entity, whether human, AI, automated system, bot, or other instrumentality, without explicit written consent from the content owner. All rights reserved.
Welcome. We are in session 2 of the 100K AI Business Challenge, and we have 7 amazing winners and lots of amazing people who are joining for free to be able to learn all that we need to learn. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk through session 2 now. May involve some of the people who are the winners in kind of talking about their experience from session 1. So if you're interested in doing that, just be prepared that you might want to share what you went through real quick, maybe a couple minutes, and then we can get in session to get that going. So if you're interested, just raise your hand and just we can talk just a little short bit, each person who's interested. If not, it's cool, about like your experience with session 1, like how did it go, and maybe what idea you're going to be working on. All right, Bushra, go ahead.
Okay, so session was amazing, and the prompt was really, well structured. So I ran it on GPT plus Claude and Gemini. They all are paid tools I use. Just so I'm saying it, so some people use free, so I don't know what the difference is, how limited those are for free. So what I came up, I gave whatever it asked, like prompting, so my experience plus my interest based, or what I run a small agency, SaaS. So what I come up with, it was so well structured that anything was in my mind, it was already there. And the questions, I was thinking if it would not ask me, I would feed that prompt to, but you had it so beautifully written that every single thing was in there, went through, probably you said 30 minutes, but I went through probably hour, 17 minutes, something like that, because since I was tracking the time for that. So then I came up with, after back and forth, what I am going with my niche. I don't know if we're allowed to say niches or not, or keeping it private so far, because I want to do something that I have never done before.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can share whatever you want. It's up to you. It doesn't matter.
So I'm in medical field, the niche I picked is in healthcare. I don't want to be more specified, for my niche until a few. But I just wanted to say that although my whole life went into medicine, but this particular niche I have never worked in. So that would be fun. I mean, I have zero experience for anything else in there. I just wanted to see how I can go from, as you claim that, to that we will build business from zero to, wherever we wanted to go. So I just wanted to see my capabilities in there too. But the process was amazing. It was super easy. It was not as much as time consuming as I thought, although I'm a really thorough person. So it took me a little longer than it should have been, but that's how my brain is, pretty complex, So yeah, that was that amazing. Thank you so much for all that.
Yeah. And the key was not to get distracted. I think we chatted a bit, and it's just it's so easy to you have to kind of trust the AI as your kind of co-founder, almost founder. So
yeah, you were right that not to get distracted, because the niche I kept getting, I think I fed that this is what I'm working in, so it kept giving me. Then I changed a bit of a prompt that I wanted to start from zero, so I don't want to have it like what I already have. So then I came up with my niche that, okay, then this is what is the most. I felt like I went with 3 and then finalized the one.
Right. No, it's good. Good job.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
anybody else want to? Yeah, thank you. Anybody else want to share their experience? It's no pressure. You don't have to. Just giving you the option right now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started then with the session today, and yeah, so we'll ask questions and stuff at the end if there's time available. So we will. But yeah, if you guys want to just get ready, we're going to be doing session 2 now. And by the way, it's on aititus.com/100K, and you can go to the hub and you'll see that I have a video of the last one and also of session 1 and the presentation for that. So here we go. All right, everybody. So we have the AI Business Challenge launch challenge. This is to launch your own business. These slides are available, so you can get to them and you can use them now. So we're going to map out your AI workflow today, and we're going to turn your valid idea into step-by-step plan you can actually build. We're going to be building next week, but this is kind of like getting us moving forward for that step. So remember, let AI do the heavy lifting for you. Always go to AI as your #1 source for advice and helping you. All right, so this is session structure. We're going to have 60 minutes roughly, and part 1 is validation check. Does your idea pass the green light checklist? And the reason this presentation is this way is so that someone could go through it on their own without me having to be here. So that hopefully helps. Part 2, workflow and the framework, the anatomy of every automation workflow. And part 3, in introduction, understanding nodes and how they connect. And we're using Innate-In. Eventually, you won't use this maybe in the next year or 2 where AI will do this, but for now we have to do this. And then part 4, we're going to build a demo. It's probably going to be more than 10 minutes, but we'll find out. And then part 5, your AI co-founder, kind of how to do the next steps once we get that going. And then 6, we have our homework. So let's go to the next frame. So what you'll accomplish today, you'll find that you found your idea in session 1. So today you're turning into a concrete blueprint. So you can actually build it with AI, hopefully doing most of the work. Maybe next week we might actually get into using Innate-In MCP and stuff like this, which might be helpful to help you build it automatically. But I'm going to try and make this so that AI can help you build it as close to done as possible. I'm also helping the winners directly, like help them build their stuff. But for those of you who are in the free, who aren't the winners at the moment for that competition, I'm trying to make this so you can build it with AI almost exclusively, and eventually pretty much you'll be able to. So that by the end of the session, you'll have a complete workflow diagram, AI generated, technical validation, AI researched for the APIs and so forth. Their first 5 target customers using AI deep research, and pricing strategy, AI calculated, outreach messages, AI drafted. You might notice a theme of AI in there. And so you should be ready to build in week 2. And that's the key. And remember, when we say build, it's more like work with AI to build it, honestly. So the secret is you're building an AI business. So use AI, right, throughout the entire process. Let your AI co-founder do the research, analysis, and drafting. You just guide to validate. And that's kind of the strategy these days for using AI. So you don't have an idea yet, we'll go back to session 1 first. And this is on this slide. Also over here, there's a button that says session 1 in the top right corner. You need to validate idea before this session makes sense. You can't do this session before session 1. So go back in session 1, the AI business discovery agent prompt, how to find problems people are paying for, Reddit, Upwork, and competitor research methods, and the 3 filters for profitable AI businesses. And you can click this link if you're there. Okay, so let's do a quick validation checklist for those of you who have come up with ideas. Let's make sure you have a specific problem you want to solve. I know some people I talked to who are the winners were like kind of struggling between a couple ideas. I just said, just take the first one that AI suggests as the best one. Evidence people are paying for the solution. Hopefully you've kind of looked up some stuff, see if there's some Upwork listings, some competition out there, maybe Fiverr, stuff like that. An understanding of the niche industry. Hopefully there's something that you're kind of a little bit familiar with or passionate about that you interact with in some fashion is helpful. You can get all that information in session 1. and that you talk to at least 1 to 2 potential customers or people in that space. Somebody actually talked to me because they have something that they're going to be doing related to what I do, which is good. So if you don't have those, stop and, well, you don't stop on this video, but those of you who are reading this or doing it later, stop and go do session 1. All right, let's do that. All right, so the green light checklist. Do all your ideas pass all 5 of these checks? Number 1, payment evidence. Did you find Upwork listings or competitors with pricing pages? If nobody's paying for this, you won't be the first. So you want to make sure that you don't want to be the first person to try and sell something new. You need a lot more money to get that out there for businesses you're trying to convince people to buy who aren't buying anything. Hopefully, if the problem's big enough, people are already trying to solve it. Number 2, by the way, there is an edge case where it could be new enough where there's nobody solving it, but that's still a tough one to go into for a beginner. Number 2, workflow complexity. Your solution involves 5 to 15 steps connecting multiple tools. It's too simple, it's not worth paying for. Too complex, you can't build it as a beginner. And I've noticed people with like 100 node workflows, and that's just way too much. Way too much. So keep it simple. Number 3, API availability. Like we talked about, an API is kind of like a phone number to a business. So you call them up, you tell them what you need, like pizza, for example. You give them the ingredients and all that, you know, what toppings you want, and then they'll build it or make it and then send it to you. So that's kind of what an API is you tell it in its own wording and how it's supposed to, you know, you don't tell a pizza person how to make a pizza by say, change my oil and change my tires, because that doesn't make any sense. So you're speaking in the language of the company or API that you're calling, and then it'll send you back what you need. So if you can't connect to the systems, you can't automate the workflow. That's important. Number 4, human validation. Talk to 2 to 3 real people who confirm this is painful. Online research validates the problem. Human conversation validates your solution fits their needs. So that's important. And then number 5, niche understanding. You understand the workflow or can learn it quickly. You got to understand how it works. You don't need to be an expert, but you need to understand the pain point. That's very important. That's why it's very good to be in something that you're familiar with, or like kind of like I'm in school communities a lot. So I know the pain points there, and I know how to help people there because I'm in the community. I read what they're doing. I watch what they're doing. I find the struggles. So hopefully that's why in session 1, you're in an area that you're already familiar with or engaged with, so that you can pay attention to those problems and things and talk the way they talk. All right. So here's some common problems and how to fix them when you're going through session 1. My idea is still too generic. So AI customer service chatbot, as we know we shouldn't be doing, or a social media automation. So you need to add a niche specificity. So customer service chatbot for HVAC companies that knows technical troubleshooting, or social media automation for real estate agents that pulls MLS listings. Very specific, right? This is something that if you told your target market, they would kind of know what you're talking about. If you're selling to HVAC and you say AI customer service chatbot, they're like, I don't understand what you mean. But if you say a customer service chatbot for your HVAC company that knows all the technical troubleshooting, then they're like, okay, that makes sense. How about this? I can't find payment evidence. Well, there's no Upwork listing, no competitors, no proof anyone pays. Either 1, you haven't searched hard enough, so you could try different keywords, but that might not be the problem. Or 2, it's not a real problem, because you should be able to easily find people selling services if it's a big problem. So just find a different idea. The APIs don't exist. So the tool you need doesn't have an API or integration. So it means that you need to find alternative tools that do the same thing, or use web scraping, which is more advanced, or do this step manually for first customers while you figure it out. That is an option, which is the manual step. But I would recommend, because you have to have human in the loop, it'll slow you down. So for just being a beginner, ideally having an API that exists is probably the best thing to have. And then my workflow is too complicated. Well, now if you use the prompt in session 1, it probably will filter out a lot of these problems for you. But sometimes people have these issues. So if it's 20 plus steps, needs custom AI training, or requires coding, well, then you know that's probably not, that's not for you, right? So you want to build the minimum viable product, which is MVP version first. What are the core 5 to 10 steps that deliver 80% of the value, and start there. Add complexity later. You always want to add complexity and more once you're making more. Let the money from your business fund its growth. Let it fund the new things you make and all of that. A lot of people invest too much time and money into something before it even makes money. Okay, so here's anatomy of every workflow, pretty much. A lot of them. It's basic. Remember, this is for beginners, but it's good. Every automation follows pretty much the same basic structure. There's a trigger. So like something starts an automation, it starts something going. So like, for example, a new record in an Airtable or a Google Sheet, form submitted, someone submits a form. Maybe there's time-based stuff. So that's the thing. And then there's like a webhook received, like maybe sometimes Stripe might tell you that a payment went through or whatnot. So those are the triggers that kind of start something. And then there's an input collection stage, which is what data comes in. So for example, some sort of record comes in from Airtable. There's a response to the information that's being sent to you to work with, file attachments, API data. And then there's well, we'll call it the AI processing, but there can be any type of processing. What decisions or generation happens. So if, for example, if a record comes in, maybe you summarize the text, maybe you extract key info, maybe you categorize it, or you generate a response, or you analyze sentiment. You're doing something with the input coming in. So you could take off AI and just say processing, but we're just going to say AI processing because we want to use AI. And then number 4, actions. What systems get updated? So usually there's a trigger, data comes in, you process the data, and then you take an action, which is like, I'm going to update the CRM, I'm going to add a table, add a field to Airtable, send a notification, things like that. So those are the actions. And then finally the output, how does the customer get results? So what happens at the end? So maybe the email sent, dashboard refreshes, maybe they get a message on Slack, something like that. So that's the final output. That's kind of the flow of an init workflow, or any workflow, honestly, on Make or Zapier. So let's just do a simple example, the meeting notes summarizer. So the problem is, now this is very simple. I wouldn't recommend this as a product. You can still sell it as a product, but it's probably AGI not safe. And remember we talked about in session 1, want to make sure our ideas we're competing against AGI, artificial general intelligence, not against humans. So we know that AGI probably can do this even now. There are competitors that do this, even Fathom and other ones. But let's just take a look at it. But this so it can be real simple to understand. After every client meeting, you spend 30 minutes writing up notes, extracting action items, and sending follow-up emails. So if you have 10 meetings per week, that's 5 hours wasted on manual note processing, right? So that's the problem. And probably a lot of people have this problem. The solution would be an automated workflow that takes raw meeting notes, uses AI to create clean summaries plus action items, and automatically sends professional follow-up emails. So that'd be kind of neat to do that. And that sounds useful. So what about the time we say, like, how could we sell this? Like, what would be the value of this? Well, if you save 30 minutes per meeting, let's just say you're spending the writing it down, and you have 10 meetings per week, and you're kind of spending 30 minutes trying to get the notes down. Maybe that's 5 hours a week, right? And depending on the company or service that people use, it could be $25 an hour, it could be $50 an hour. Well, let's just say $50 an hour times 5 hours for 4 weeks is $1,000 a month. And a lot of people don't quantify this cost to their business, including us as individuals. We don't quantify our time. So one little note would be like to associate a dollar amount to your time. And then when you're on YouTube scrolling shorts, and you could bill yourself for that time and find out how much money you're costing yourself. So that's $1,000 a month in saved labor, right? That you won't spend. People don't see this. It's like a sunk cost. It's invisible. So it's nice to bring this to the surface. And then you could say, well, if I charged you $300 a month for this, you'd be saving a lot of money. You'd net $700 in your pocket. What could you do with that $700? I like to phrase this as an emotional thing. Like, could you go on you could have a new car if you have a car payment. You could go out to dinner. You could do all kinds of wonderful things. Go on a vacation after a couple months. So there's a lot of emotional parts that you could say about the money that they would save. $300 a month, they save $1,000, net $700. All right. So here's a meeting notes workflow example, right? So 6 steps. Step 1 is trigger. So we need a new record. When a new record is added to, and we're going to maybe use Airtable, let's say. If it's added to the meeting notes area, then we want to be able to have init watch that. So you can have any workflow automation system, no code, actually watch for changes. Okay, so it's going to watch. And then once you paste it in, then it will read the new record from Airtable, and it will then collect like the meeting date, the attendee emails, raw notes, all those things that you might put into that record. And then you want AI to summarize it. So AI reads the notes and creates clean summary and bullet list of action items. So you might use tools like OpenAI, Anthropic, or any LLM. There's APIs out there. Open Router is a good one because you can access all kinds of different LLMs. And then so you might prompt to like summarize these meeting notes into 3 to 4 key points and extract all action items with owners. So that's something that you might have for your LLM prompt. And step 4 is AI drafts email. So AI writes professional follow-up email with a summary. So you can have another one which says write a professional follow-up email including the summary and the action items. And then step 5 would be send the email. So init sends email to the meeting attendees. And you could use the Gmail node or send email node from init, for example. And then you want to update the Airtable. So this is important. When you take actions, you want to make sure you record the action is done. If you don't record it was done, you don't know if it was sent. So here you want to update maybe the Airtable with the status of email sent, maybe a timestamp and so forth, and what the summary was that you sent. So this confirms that the workflow is completed and archives a summary for later reference so you can use it later. So why this example works for beginners, because this is for people who have zero experience. It's only 6 steps, simple enough to understand and build in a few hours. A minimal tool required. So you can just use Airtable. There's free or Google Sheets. You can use an AI API. Those are like not very much per month, very dollars. And then you can send email, which is usually free, especially if you use Gmail. So it might only cost like $5 to $10 a month to operate this currently. And it's clear input, clear output. Remember we talked about that. We want to have like our black box where we build our AI business, but we want to know what the inputs are and we want to know what the outputs are. So we know that raw notes go in and a professional summary plus email comes out. So make sure that it's easy to test and see it working. So make sure that you always know your inputs and your outputs. That's very important. Because if you forget an output or you forget an input, it's going to cause hassle when you're building your solution. And then it's a universal problem. Everyone has meetings, easy to find customers, right? So now, like we said, this doesn't go in line with my strategy of like focused on specific niche, but this is just for walking you through kind of an example. And there's no complex APIs. Airtable is pretty documented, and init has native integration and stuff like that for Airtable and other ones, Google Sheets, let's say. And then professional database. Airtable gives you a real database with views, filters, and reporting. That's pretty cool. That's better than spreadsheets, looks more professional to clients, but you could also use Google Sheets. All right, so let's identify the money steps. Which steps save the most time, which are currently most painful. In the meeting notes example, step 3, AI summarizes. It's a money step because this is what takes 20 minutes manually. This is kind of why AI is so powerful, because it serves the purpose of a thinking human. Reading through messy notes, organizing thoughts, pulling out key points, that takes time. It's just tedious. And then step 4 is AI drafts email. So that's a money step because that could take 5-10 minutes just to draft an email. And the nice part about AI is it can write a professional copy. You can format it nicely, check the spelling, make sure nothing is missed. And then step 5 through 6 is automation, right? So this is bonus. It ensures it actually gets done, creates searchable archive eventually. So there's no more, I'll send those notes later. That never happens. Airtable becomes the single source of truth. So that's also valuable and hard to quantify, is taking steps, not procrastinating, not waiting around to get it done. So the money steps are where you demonstrate value. So it's nice you can look through your workflow, kind of find out the parts that you're doing, and then allocate out and say, hey, see, this saves you this much, this saves you this much. And this really helps to stack on the value of the solution. So this is what you emphasize when selling. We save you 30 minutes after every meeting. That's 20+ hours per month back in your calendar. Plus everything is organized in Airtable so you can search past meetings instantly. That's really cool. And Airtable is nice because you can actually create a front-facing UI with data if you wanted. Don't worry if you're a beginner. Just go with me through this, because by the end of everything, you'll be able to build things, and that's really cool. So don't get frustrated or worried if you don't know what I'm talking about here, because I'm gonna walk you through it all. Don't worry. All right. So first of all, we've been talking about init-in, so let's talk about what is init-in. It's a visual workflow builder. So you can drag and drop modules, building blocks. You can connect them with arrows to show data flow, and there's no coding required, pretty much. So it's nice. It's visual coding in a way, and that's why they call it no code. You can connect anything to anything. So for example, they have 400 plus or hundreds of pre-built integrations. If there is no integration, you can use HTTP request node for any API you want to build. If they have an interaction, if they have an API on their end and init-in has not built one, you can make one yourself. And you can pass data between steps automatically, which is cool. So for example, you could connect Slack to Google Sheets. So when Google Sheets has something put in, Slack could notify you, or Discord. Each node equals one action. So Airtable node reads, writes database records. AI node processes text with LLMs. Email node sends messages. Now with the AI agent node, that's a little different because it kind of performs a lot of actions, and that's a smart agent that does all kinds of things. So, but in general, each node is one action. And the nice part is it's self-hosted or cloud. So this is why it's better than Make or Zapier, is because you can actually host it for free on your computer, or for whatever you pay for cloud hosting on cloud hosting. AI Titus provides free cloud hosting for like the winners of this challenge, but also really good pricing if you need it, if you want to. And there's unlimited workflows included. So think of init-in as a digital plumbing. So water, data flows from one pipe, which is a node, to another. Each pipe transforms or moves the water. At the end, you get the desired output. So you can even watch it in init, and you'll see it like move across, and there'll be a little spinner as it's doing each step. So think of it like that. Let's see. Okay, the 5 node categories you need to know. So trigger nodes, they start the workflow. So there's an Airtable trigger when a new record is added or updated, all kinds of triggers. Webhook. So what a webhook might be is that you can hit a URL and it will start your workflow. You can schedule one. So you might schedule your workflow to occur every 30 minutes or every hour or every day. One person I talked to has a cool newsletter. He triggers it like whatever day, so that he'll trigger it once and it'll create the newsletter. And then you can do manual triggering too for testing. And then data nodes, which is where you get information. HTTP request connects to any API. So this is kind of like your own phone, and you can call and tell it what phone number to call and what data to get. So that's kind of like an HTTP request. There's Airtable, so you can grab stuff from Airtable records. Database nodes, which are useful, like MySQL and so forth. And there's file readers. You can do all kinds of neat stuff with data. And one thing that I didn't put in here is a code node, which is really awesome because you can actually have AI write JavaScript code for you to do cool stuff with data and output it. So there's a code node, which I think is one of the most amazing nodes. It doesn't fit in for beginners so much, but those of you who may be more than a beginner, the code node is awesome. And then AI nodes, which is our intelligence, our brain. We can use OpenAI or GPT models for generative analysis, Anthropic for reasoning, text classification, summarization. So a lot of neat AI nodes that you can use today. And then action nodes like send email or Gmail, update a CRM. And then you can also create tasks like an Asana or whatever you want to do. And then post to Slack or Discord. So notify yourself. And then there's logic nodes, which are like, if this happens, do this. Otherwise, do this. Switch router, like you can have different like flows to go down if you want. And then you can merge data. So after you've done something, you can merge it all together and use it. And then you can set variables. So those are useful throughout the flow. All right. So we'll go through this real quick. The HTTP request node, your superpower, right? When init-in doesn't have a pre-built node, you can still connect to pretty much any service that has an API, which is pretty awesome. And the benefit is use your AI cofounder to help you build that, because you might not know how to connect a HTTP request node to their API. So you'll be able to do all kinds of stuff like that with AI. The HTTP request node can get requests, so they get something, they fetch it. Post request, they send data. They can add authentication. A lot of times there's a key that you have to add for an API. They can set custom headers and parse JSON responses, all kinds of neat stuff. So like if you want to connect to a random API, you might have like a URL that looks like this, for example, right? So you'd put that in your URL. You'd use a post method. Don't worry if you don't get this. It'll make sense eventually. And then there might be an authentication bearer, like a header that you add an API key. And then they would probably be in the header here. And then the content type, maybe a JSON, and then the body is like the information that you pass. So pretty much this is the phone number that you call. Like this is a phone number. This is like the password you might have to say. And this is like the data that you'll pass to it. Like I want a large pizza, so large is the size. I want it to have pepperoni and cheese. Those are toppings. And I need it by 2 p.m. So those are all information that you're passing to this pizza API, let's say. And then it knows that information, and then it will deliver back what you've requested. So init will handle the request and give you back the response. You just need to read the API documentation to know what to send, right? Let me move this out of the way. So that, and you can have AI read the documentation. So if this seems technical, we'll walk you through this together in week 2, like next week, don't worry. But for just now, just know that it's if an API exists, init can connect to it, pretty much. All right, so you can get init access, AI Titus free-init. That's just included with AI membership. It's very cheap because I only charge just to cover costs for the init pretty much. I wanted to create a way. And then you can use init.io. Those are the people who invented init. They have a cloud service. And so you can review some of this later if you want. And that costs you, I think about, there's like a 2-week free trial, I believe, but it costs you about $24 a month. AI Titus is $8 a month, cheap as I can get it. So what you'll need to set up, so you need some sort of init account. And then you also will need some sort of API key. Now, you don't have to pay for it to start. You just have to maybe put in a credit card or something, some of these. But you'll just have to have that ready because you're going to want to use AI, and AI costs money. Now, there are some free AI versions on Open Router, but still sometimes Open Router will charge you. But you want to use the best ones for the best possible business, AI business, right? And then you might want an Airtable account or something. They're free, by the way, which is cool. And any other services specific to your workflow needs. So create your init account today or get it set up, get access to the winners. You get free included by being a winner. So if you haven't got your access yet, just go ahead and message me independently. And get familiar with the interface. Click around, have fun. Don't worry about building. You can try if you want. Don't worry about breaking anything either because you're not going to break anything. So just have fun. Get used to the flow. All right, we're going to try this experiment now. We're going to see if we can build it together in real time here. This will be fun, but we're going to build it. So we're going to build the meeting notes summarizer, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't go too well on this call, because it's very short, I'm trying to pack it in. Like I said, I'll just edit it in, and in the video, it'll have that flow builder for you. And I'll include the workflow too. So the next few slides walk us through building the actual workflow in Airtable, right? So what you'll learn, how to structure your Airtable database. Now, if this doesn't make any sense, that's okay. Just bear with me and go through it because you can always come back and watch the video and do it on your own pace. How to create workflow in init step by step, how to configure each node, how to test and debug, and what a working automation looks like, hopefully. All right, so follow along. And the key is that right now we're going to push forward. I'm going to push forward this development time, like actually coding this, to session 4. So tune into session 4 coming up, and you'll be able to see this build, but I'm going to walk you right through it real quick. So the first step is to set up your Airtable, right? Your Airtable base. So first we need to create a database structure that will hold all our meeting notes. I'm not going to do this in this video, but it is going to be more done for you in session 4. So look out for session 4. But just to kind of walk you through an overview, you create a new base. So you'd log into Airtable, hit create, start from scratch, or you can use AI to build it. You'd rename your table to whatever you wanted to do. For example, we would call it meeting notes. And then we'd create fields. And these fields, this is nice when you use the AI co-founder to help you, will actually provide you all this information so you can walk through the steps. But I'm going to show you real quick. So you might want to have a field like the meeting date and the attendee emails and the raw notes and the AI summary, action items, status, and process that. So like when it happened, when it was done, when it was completed. So tracking that information. So step 1 to continue, you might configure your field. Something like this is how it would look, where you have your meeting day, your attendee emails, your raw notes, AI summary, and all that. And this information it would store. First, you put in your meeting notes, and then AI would take over and create the AI summary and action items. So you might set a default status value, like status field. You might want that to be always pending. So you might set, when you have a database, you might want to have a field that has a default value. In this case, pending, which means it's not done yet. Then you want to get your Airtable API key, and you can go on YouTube or anywhere to like get tutorials about how to do that. It's pretty simple, and I think those tutorials will be helpful. You can click on your profile, go to account, go to the API section, and so forth. But I would just get a YouTube tutorial. And then you want to get your base ID. So you'd go to Airtable, you'd get that information, and so that you can connect your Airtable to your end-to-end workflow. Now you want to create your end-to-end workflow. So you log into end-to-end. You can get, I have unlimited access that I give people who join AI Titus Plus. It's only about $8 a month. And that's just covering the cost of running the end-to-end server for you. And you can use it for educational purposes. You might click new workflow and then name it meeting notes automation. Then you go and add an Airtable trigger node. What that means is that when a field is inserted, like data is inserted into Airtable, it will trigger this node and then pass that information to the workflow. So you click on the plus button on Canvas and search for Airtable trigger, and then you'd add it, and that's inside init. Then you got to configure the credentials. So you'd create a new credential, you'd put in your API key, and these are things that any YouTube tutorial will help you with. So you can say how to configure Airtable for init. You'll definitely find great videos from amazing people. Then you want to configure your trigger so that like when that base ID, a particular value happens, like you poll every minute, watch for new status where status equals pending. So as soon as something pending comes in, remember that automatic default that we set as pending? As soon as Airtable sees that there's a pending record, then it can take the next step and trigger this workflow. Step 3, add AI summarization node. So once you get that data coming in from the trigger, it's going to pass all the fields into the init workflow. You want to pass that information over to AI to summarize it. So you would hit a plus sign in init, and it'd be after the Airtable trigger. You'd add in OpenAI, and then you would create a new credential for OpenAI, which you can also look up, create credential or link OpenAI to init. Wonderful people to help you there. Also, AI can help you. And then you want to configure the summarization prompt. So you might want to pick something like GPT 4.0 or 5 or something cheap, whatever you want, mini, nano. And then you want to insert your prompt. So you want to message a model, and you'll see this inside the node after you put in your API drop down key and so forth. Then you might want to say something like this in your prompt: you are a professional meeting notes assistant. Please read these meeting notes and provide a clean 3 to 4 sentence summary of the key discussion points and bullet list of all the action items with the person responsible. And then the meeting notes, you'd insert them in here. So you drag those notes in. So they would come in from Airtable, and you'll see it and the fields coming in. You can just drag that in to this prompt. And then you want to format the response as a summary with your summary and then action items. Note that the raw notes pulls the data from Airtable. So I want you to remember that. This pulls it from Airtable. Once that's done, it's going to output some choices, and you're going to see that there's some content there that you can pick with what you have. So we want to add another node to do an email draft. So we hit a plus sign, and we add in after the OpenAI node, we'll add in like a email sending like node, something that will send SMTP or whatever you want to do. So you can pick the credential, and then we want to configure the email draft first. Sorry. So this is the OpenAI part. So the first OpenAI one, I was getting ahead of myself. The first OpenAI one is going to help us get the information we need. The second one's going to draft the email. So that's where we are here. Sorry. So we're going to draft an email. So we add another OpenAI node. You can just copy and paste the one you have and then edit the prompt. So in the prompt, we want to say something like, we might message a model, GPT-4o or 5 or whatever is many. Write a professional follow-up email based on this meeting summary. Keep it friendly, concise, brief. Thank you for attending. The summary, the action items, encouraging next steps. Meeting date. So you want to put in the date here. And this is, you can get this from the Airtable trigger. It's going to come from the Airtable, so you'll have it. And then the meeting summary. And this is the part that you're going to pull from your OpenAI, the previous node. You're going to pull it over into the prompt. It says, write the email subject line and body. So we're using output from the previous, remember that, we're using the output from the previous OpenAI node for the message content. So this is creating the draft. Sorry, I might have confused you there. First, we create a summary, then we create a draft email. Next, we're going to send an email. So here's the send email node. When I hit the plus sign, there's a send email. You can actually have a node that's there that will let you send email. You want to configure your email settings. You can get that from your email provider, or if you're using Gmail, there'll be a Gmail. If you add Gmail as a node instead of send email, Gmail will be all configured for you if you set that up. And if you need help, you can go to YouTube, get more information about that. But here you'll set the from email, the to email, and the to email can be the attendee email. So in this case, it's very simple. We might have one attendee, and then we're going to be able to send it to. Now we can have commas and so forth to add more attendees if we want, and that's something you can test out. Then the subject, you can have a subject in there, and it's like follow up for, and then the date, the meeting. So meeting follow up. Here's the AI response that we have about the draft that we want to make. So this is going to be the email message, which is the previous OpenAI node. That one that's creating a draft, we'll pull that information in. So we have a nice draft. And then we'll put all our information in here, which you'll see if you're configuring this node. You need to create an app password in Gmail. So there's some information there. I would just recommend that you go to YouTube and search add Gmail to N8N or add my authentication for Gmail. And that should get you where you need to be. You can always message me if you need help. All right, step 6, update Airtable status. So remember, what's happening is when the status is pending, it's triggering. So we want to make sure we change that status. So the final node that we'll add here, and we can always add more and do cool stuff later, is we want to add the an Airtable update node, so something to update. So we'll click the plus sign. After the send email node, we'll pull in an Airtable node, and we'll do an update. Okay, so we want to create the update, and then we want to take the record ID, and the record ID we're going to update comes from the first trigger. So there'll be a record ID in the first trigger. You'll see it. You can drag that from that first trigger over to this one so that it's updating the proper record in Airtable. And then the fields we want to update are status, and we want to create a status of email sent. So once the email sent, we send it. And then we can update the AI summary. So we're going to save in here what the summary was. And you could also save other things if you get up a draft field and all that stuff. Okay, and then what we'll have is after that, we will process that. We'll add the date. So that the now parameter, let's say in N8N, we'll put a date in there. So we'll know when it was processed, when it was sent. So this marks the record as complete and stores the summary and also does the process date. So your workflow is complete. You'll have an Airtable trigger, watches for new content, AI summarization that takes that new content, creates a summary with action items, an AI email draft, which will take that information and put it into an email, like a nice email message, and then a send email node, which will then take that information and send it out to the attendees. And then finally, update Airtable so that you can then change it from process to email sent, or like we said here, email sent was what you'd set the status to, and you are done. After you're done with that, you're going to test your workflow. So after we built it all, run it, everything's running. So we want to run each node, make sure each node works. Step 7, test your workflow. So save your workflow, hit the save button, never forget to save. It's not saved. If it's saved but not active, it's not going to work as much. So you want to turn it into active, right? So we're going to create test data in Airtable. So let's turn it on. So you flip it on, this workflow, it's ready to go. You go back to the Airtable base and you click the plus record and you fill in some information like some rough notes and the name of maybe the attendee email, today's date, all the information you fill in. You go back to init, toggle active, like I said, switch it to on. Your workflow is now watching Airtable. It's watching it every X minutes or whatever we've set up ahead of time. So this is what success looks like. Within 1 to 2 minutes, you should see and the init execution logs, which you can hit executions. There'll be an Airtable trigger found the new record. First OpenAI record generates the summary. Second OpenAI node drafts the email. And then the email sent successfully. The Airtable is updated. And green check marks on all nodes. That means everything's good. There's all check marks. You'll see in your inbox a professional follow-up email with the subject, meeting, follow-up, and then the date, like we saw. A clean summary of discussion, bullet list of action items with owners, and a friendly professional tone. An Airtable, you should see the status change to email sent, an AI summary field filled with the summary and all the details, and process that shows the timestamp. Congratulations, you just built a working AI automation that saves 30 minutes per meeting. This is what your customers will pay. $300, $400 a month. They could pay $300, $400 a month for this. This is very simple and basic. I would probably target a specific niche with specific things that this is doing that would help that specific niche with a specific hard problem. But this is kind of like a little skeleton or base framework that you can start from. So we kind of went through a demo of like how to build a workflow, and you can rewatch that and kind of go through that step by step. And now once we get to the point where we're here, we want to make sure that we stop doing everything manually. Even on the call, someone was like, maybe we should use the AI for Airtable. So that was a good idea. Like always think AI first. So you're building an AI business, so use AI to build your AI business. AI will help you with generating your workflow outline automatically, deep research to find specific target customers, identify which APIs and tools you need, calculate pricing based on market research, and draft outreach messages and positioning. The next few slides are going to give you copy-paste prompts to let AI do the heavy lifting. You're just a guide, right? That's all you got to do. You're just going to guide it along. So just remember that previously, as we were building that, we built something simple, but now I'm telling you what to do for your workflow, for your business. So this is very important. We're switching from built, just an example of how a workflow is built, to now like you working on your workflow. Okay, now we're going to do the actual building next week, and that's when I can spend a lot more time and less presentation on building. All right, so here we go. So the next slide. AI-powered workflow generator. This is good. So don't map your workflow manually. Let AI generate it for you. This is a work in progress. It might get most of it right, depending on the model that you use, but at least it'll get you really good farther along, right? So what you can do for this prompt is you just copy and paste this into your favorite large language model. I think Claude's pretty good for this, so you might think about using Claude if you can. But it says that you're a workflow automation expert specializing in init and AI integrations. I need you to design a detailed step-by-step workflow for my business idea. So you'll put in your business idea here. And what you can do is you can actually have AI help you generate this summary if you need from your business, right? So that's not a problem. You'll paste that in because it needs context. And then you're going to create a workflow with 5 to 10 clear steps, not too complex for a beginner, because we're all considering ourselves beginners here. Specify the trigger, what starts it, like an Airtable, so forth. And each step should include what happens in this step, which tool API handles it, like be specific, what goes into this step, and what data comes out of the step. It's very good. You're going to learn how to use init just from using this prompt. It's going to help you think things through, get a mindset of thinking. And then highlight where AI is used and what prompts to use. So it's also going to include prompts. And the final step is showing how customer receives the output. So how are they going to receive it? And also provide list all of the tool API needed. So you might want to turn on web search, and also you might want to turn on like just being able to search the web and find those APIs, which init nodes exist for each tool, and estimated cost to operate per month, and which steps are the money steps. So we're saving money because this will help you when you are going to be selling this or marketing it. Format this in a clear numbered list I can follow when building init. So you can use it in ChatGPT, Claude, so forth. So it doesn't take very long to generate this. And then AI deep research. So this is the part that I want you to, and you could probably, I found a free one called Open Deep open deep research .dev, and it's from DeepSeek, but it seems pretty cool. And so you might want to do this, but if you have paid, you obviously want to use the deep research from paid, but some free people don't have a lot of money. And so this would be good for you if you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. So you can find your first 5 customers. So don't manually search, use AI deep research tools to find specific targets. So for example, free deep research tool. Now, here's the thing. We're going to copy this deep research prompt. So I need you to find 5 specific potential customers for my business using deep web research. So again, your business, put it in here, like have AI generate this part for you for your business, and then target customer profile. So industry, job titles, company size, location, and then research and find for each of the 5 targets. So for these 5 targets, then you want to be able to say, like, what industry are they in? What job titles do they have? And AI can help you make this too, okay? So research and find. For each of the 5 targets, provide specific person name or company name, why they're a good fit. It's always good to know from AI why they decided they're a good fit to make sure that's in line with what you want to do. And then contact method, like is it LinkedIn? Is it email? Is it a phone? However that is. A specific pain point they likely have based on their industry and role. So this is very good. And then a source link about where you found them, like how you found this person. And then you can search these places like LinkedIn, company websites, about us page, industry directories, Facebook, LinkedIn groups, so forth, local business listings. And also in your community, like if you're in a community already and you already have people like, let's say Reddit, or you're in a community like school and you already have a customer, people who might be customers, then what you need to do is just contact those people, but still use this step just to see what comes up with. But if you already have an area where some of your target customers exist, then you can, usually they're outspoken or they have questions, you can target them through those things like, oh, I noticed this person had this problem related to this, so that you can be able to connect them with what you're doing. But this is kind of just doing some research for you to show what AI can find. So make these real people or companies I can actually reach out to, not generic categories. That's the key right there. So you're kind of helping AI understand. So this is the deep research, trying to find your first 5 customers, and those are people you're going to reach out to, okay? And then, so how to use it, just so those of you might not know, go to the website, paste your search prompt, let it search, and then validate the results. So, check the LinkedIn, make sure that's legitimate, or the website. Confirm that they fit your customer profile. And if not, just adapt the prompt a little bit or talk with the AI about it. And then save their info, that's important, in some sort of Airtable or spreadsheet so you have that information. And then you're going to draft personalized outreach messages for each, and we're going to do that next. All right, so, sorry. And so what we have is this saves 2 to 3 hours of manually searching, and you can still do the manual searching, but this saves a lot. So, for example, you might say, I need to find real estate agents, and it's going to help you find this through deep research. Remember, we're trying to use AI as our co-founder, doing most of the work. Okay, don't manually Google each API. Let AI research everything for you. So now we have this, when we're trying to do our APIs for our tool, I need you to research the technical feasibility of my workflow by finding all necessary APIs and tools. So you put in your workflow that the AI has generated, and then it says, so it'll generate some sort of workflow for you that will be helpful. And then you can say for each tool service in the workflow, research and provide, does API exist? So you got to search for it. API documentation, URL, is there a URL for the documentation? Authentication method. Sometimes they may not let you use their API, so that's what you're going to know. If they have authentication method, usually it means that you can, because they'll give you an API key. Pricing and limits, you want to know the price, right? If it's like $1,000 a month, you might not want to do that one. Does Init have public pre-built nodes? So there's a lot of nodes that are already on Init that people have made. There's workflows they've made, but there's also nodes. So just finding out, is there a node, and what documentation is there? Like, can I learn how to use it? Because you'll use AI to learn that documentation. And then also, can we use HTTP request node? So that means, can we build our own kind of API interface? Also find alternative tools if primary choice doesn't have API, free alternatives for testing, and estimated monthly API cost based on usage, okay? So then the output format is, for each tool, create a checklist. Does it have an API? Is there an init node? How much does it cost? Is there a way to authorize it? Like, is there API keys or whatnot? This research will tell me if my workflow is technically buildable. So this is one of the ones that you can go through. So AI will research all your APIs in 3 to 5 minutes or less, depending on what deep research you use. You could also just use the regular, not deep research, and try it out. The deep research is really good. You'll know immediately if your workflow is technically feasible, and then you can kind of adapt as needed, right? All right, AI-powered pricing analysis. Don't guess your pricing, which a lot of people do. I see this all the time in school specifically. People are like, how much should I price? How much should I charge? Let AI calculate it based on value and market research. So this is your prompt for AI-powered pricing analysis. Help me calculate the optimal pricing for my automation service based on value delivered and market comparables. So here's your service. Again, like, just keep that available or have AI generate it for you. And then time saved, X hours per week per customer. Describe what tasks are being automated. So you might want to have AI put that, in there so that you can, if you need to fill this in with AI, you can definitely fill the parts in. So then research and calculate a value-based pricing. Assume the customer values their time at $50 to $100 an hour. Now you can change that based upon your market and what AI tells you should put in there. You could actually have this prompt, paste it in, and say, please create a prompt like this for my business. It'll update the prices for you. And then calculate hours saved, hours value times 4 weeks, monthly labor cost saved. Suggest my price at 30 to 40% of labor cost saved. And you can change these values. Competitor research. Search for similar automation services or tools. Find 3 to 5 competitors and their pricing. List company name, what they charge, URL to pricing page. Analyze, where do I fit in this range? So just finding it, because you don't want to overprice when there's really awesome competitors already in the market. So you want to make sure, in this case, if you're solving a big problem, make sure you're priced competitively at least. And then 3, pricing model recommendation. Should I do a setup fee plus monthly, pure monthly, tiered plans, or usage based? And I'm going to describe that in a second. Suggest specific numbers, like $500 setup, $600 a month. First customer discount. This is very good. Suggest a discounted price for your first 3 to 5 customers, just to get them in the door to try it out, because you're not known. They don't know who you are. There's no testimonials, which you want to get. Explain when to raise prices. So this is important. A lot of people don't know, like, when should I raise prices, all of those things. AI is your co-founder and better. So then output the recommended starting price, the pricing model, the competitors or comparison table, value justification, what customer is getting, and when to increase pricing. AI does the market research and calculations. You get confident pricing backed by data, not guesswork. That's very important. A lot of times founders don't spend the time necessary to do this research because it takes a lot of time. AI is able to help jump you forward in time, save you a lot of time. I'm going to get to the pricing models, I think, in a couple slides here in a second. So AI generated outreach messages. So once you get the pricing set up, you don't want to draft these cold messages from scratch. You never want to send a cold email in regards to just templatized. You just want to, like, some sort of, you copy and paste the same thing over and over again. So let's let AI draft personalized outreach. So in this prompt, we say, help me write personalized outreach messages for my first 5 target customers. And your service, your value prop, and your target customer info. And this is all stuff you've collected in the past. You can actually have AI create this prompt for you, filling it in with what you found, but you can also paste it in here. So it says, write 5 personalized messages. For each target, create subject line, opening line, if it's a LinkedIn message, because you might be pasting in LinkedIn or reaching out to someone. Message body, 3 to 4 short paragraphs. You want a hook, which is to reference something specific about their company. This is great, because you want it's not like a cold lead if it seems like it's a warm lead. Like, it seems like there's something about what you're saying then that says, I'm not just copying and pasting the same email across to everybody. Problem, call out the pain point they have. Solution, briefly explain how you solve it. Call to action, ask for a 15-minute call or demo, or just show them, like, if you have a video, make a video, some sort of way they can see it. Or if you want to just have them try it, have them try it. I give them access to try it out, maybe, depending on what you made. Requirements, keep each message under 150 words, which is good. Friendly, but professional tone. Don't be salesy. Always, if any prompts you're doing where you're going to be outreaching, make sure you say, don't be salesy. Focus on helping people. not selling people. Include specific details about their situation. And I'll also end with easy yes, no questions or a calendar link. It should not be like, it should be a call to action. It should just be like open-ended. Thank you. Hope this helps. Have something at the end that they can act on. Also provide follow-up message if no response after 1 week, which is helpful for you to have. And you could also build, once you learn how to build automations more, you could automate following up. And then response template, if they say, tell me more, you could also have like objections, common objections, and how to respond. Remember, you can work with AI to help you in all of your interactions. So AI writes personalized messages for each target. You just review, tweak if needed, and send. That's how easy it is. So here's your AI co-founder workflow. Here's how AI helps you with everything. Number 1, workflow design. AI generates your step-by-step automation map. Number 2, customer research. You can use open deep research or any deep research that you might have access to find 5 specific targets with contact info if possible. API validation. AI researches all tools and confirms technical feasibility. Pricing strategy. AI calculates value-based pricing and researches competitors. That's priceless. Outreach messages. AI writes personalized messages for each target. So you're going to save literally 6 to 8 hours. I mean, probably more. It's going to do it in minutes instead of hours. AI has access to more data and examples than you could research alone. Like, remember, you're a sole founder right now, but with AI, you have like unlimited potential. And then you're focused on validating AI's output. So you're kind of guiding it along, talking to humans, getting some information, putting in your own feelings and what you understand and think about it. And then you're going to build relationships through this. So here's your homework before session 3. All right. So you have 7 AI assisted tasks. Budget 3 to 4 hours total, if AI does most of the work, of course. So here they are. Use AI to generate your complete workflow map. Now, the winners, you can message me anytime if you get stuck. Those of you who are not part of the cohort of winners, you can still message me on School. I can see if I can help, or post on School if you get stuck in the AI tied to School. It's free. You can use open deep research or whatever you have to find 5 specific target customers, and then use AI to research all APIs and validate feasibility. So you're kind of gathering information right now for next week. And then use AI to calculate your pricing strategy, just to kind of have that in your head as you're thinking it through. And then use AI to draft personalized outreach messages. It's kind of getting you used to working with AI as your co-founder, kind of running ideas by it, getting it to generate things for you. Your manual tasks, which AI tasks should always be greater than your manual tasks. Create all your accounts that you need. So if you need N8N access, if you use Make or something, I'm not going to cover specifically how to use Make or Zapier, but it's very similar, and there's lots of YouTube tutorials. But I will be covering N8N. The AI APIs, like if you need to just use AI to help you, use your co-founder to help you, but get those API keys. Airtable if you're using it or something, it's up to you. And then your workflow tools. And then watch the N8N basics tutorial. If you go to N8N or any basics tutorial, you don't have to spend a ton of time on it, just to kind of get familiar with it, looking at it. Nate from AIS community has really good videos. So, look up Nate Perk. He's really awesome. So this is critical. Session 3, which is week 2, we start building. If you don't have your workflow mapped and account set up, you'll be stuck watching instead of doing. So that's just the reality of the situation. And then AI powered tasks, your AI task workflow generation here is just to walk you through the steps. Copy the workflow generation prompt from slide 27, paste it into ChatGPT, so forth, fill in your business idea, and then review AI's output and ask follow-up questions if needed. That's important. Save the complete workflow map just to have that available. So the output would be a complete numbered workflow with tools, nodes, and a data flow documented. Then AI is going to handle that for you, okay? And we'll have some questions, just a few minutes of questions at the end. Task 2, AI customer research. So go to like Open Deep Research or wherever you want to use your own LLM deep research. Copy the customer research prompt from slide 28. Fill in your target customer profile. Let AI search for 5 specific people or companies. Review each result and visit their LinkedIn website just to get a feel for them. Maybe copy some information from it. You can kind of create a little profile for them. And save the 5 validated targets in some sort of spreadsheet, docs, whatever you want to do. whatever. So your output would be a list of 5 specific names with contact methods and why they're good fits. And this is just a good experiment for you to go through. You may not use all 5. You may use something else. But I want you to go through this experiment of using AI to help you in this process. Because as you learn this, you can start to do this for other things that you're working on, finding customers, refining, tweaking, whatever you're going to do. All right, 36. AI, I'm walking through exact steps here. AI API validation. So copy the API research prompt from slide 30. Paste your workflow into the prompt. Let AI research each tool's API availability. Click through the documentation links AI provides. Confirm edited nodes exist or HTTP request is viable. So some of these things, if you're not sure, just ask AI. It's going to help you. And then screenshot relevant API docs if you need, or just save it in a document like the link or something. Save the links to the API docs. Now, this is stuff that API is still going to be able to help you with. AI will always help you. So your output should be a checklist confirming every tool in your workflow is technically buildable, at least, according to AI. And then task 4, AI pricing strategy. Copy the pricing analysis prompt from slide 31. Fill in your service details and time saved. Review AI's value calculation and competitor research. Visit competitor pricing pages AI found just to make sure that it's right. Decide on your starting price, usually first customer discount, something like that. AI is going to help you with that one. And write down your pricing model and justification, and AI is going to help you with that one. So let me go forward here. And then your final outreach message. Copy the outreach prompt from slide 32. Paste in your 5 target customers from task 2. And by the way, this is helpful for all of you, whether you're building an AI business or not, but maybe you're part of your work, or maybe you have another business you run. You can still use the same stuff for your business to grow it and get more customers. Let AI draft personalized messages for each. This is key. Always do personalized. You have no excuse not to do personalized these days with AI. Review and add specific details you found about each person, and then save the messages. Don't send them, right? We're just kind of doing some initial research here. So your output would be 5 personalized outreach messages ready to send when your MVP is built, when you're ready. And then create all your accounts. So go through and make sure, like I said, you've got your N8N, got your Airtable, OpenAI, whatever. Then you can see this slide to go through this. And then watch a video, basic video, doesn't matter. I'll probably put in here on the slide, update it with maybe one of Nate's videos, but they're very long sometimes. So I'll put something in here. Okay, so what happens in session 3? We start building. So session 3 is 100% hands-on, and we only have hour blocks, so we're going to be very efficient. You build your first AI workflow from scratch, but I'm going to actually have AI help you even more, so there's less scratch. Connect Airtable, AI APIs, and other tools. Set up AI nodes. Debug issues in real time. Get your MVP working end to end. That's the goal for next week. So what you must have ready is complete workflow map. That's AI generated. All accounts created with API keys. If you get stuck, there's videos to show you how to do this, but also AI will help you do this, and you can ping me if you're a winner. N8N accounts active and explored, at least you're logged in. Airtable setup if you need it. And basic understanding your workflow logic, at least walking through. Now, if you don't understand anything about what you're building, just ask AI to help you understand it. Seriously. So if you skip the homework, you'll spend session 3 creating accounts and getting set up while everyone else is building. So don't let that be you. If you follow along with the meeting notes demo, slide 1625, you already have a working example to reference. So if you go through these slides, you'll be pretty good. Use it as your template for your workflow. All right, so here's some resources for you. And I'm going to go back to one slide here, though, which is the, let's see, pricing. There it is. Okay, so one thing that I mentioned in here was the pricing model right here. So I'm going to cover that real quick. So there's different models to price. So the best one for you as a beginner, my advice is the setup fee plus monthly. So you can kind of set someone up, depending on your business. Right? This really depends on your business, and AI can come up with a better pricing model for your specific business if it's unique. I'm going to describe these 4 common ones. So the setup fee plus monthly means that you say, look, I'll get your company on this. It's $100, and then it's like $100 a month or something. So you have a setup fee of $100 and then $100 a month. And then there's the pure monthly, which is just $50 a month, like your cell phone or something, like $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month. It's just a monthly fee. And then the tiered plan is like, well, we have a pro plan, we've got an enterprise plan, and the pricing monthly changes, maybe the setup fee changes. So it's a combination of maybe setup fee and monthly together. It's tiered plan. And then there's usage based, like per minute or, you know, per token or whatever. There's that type of use. So there's kind of those 4 ideas. But remember, with AI, you can come up with a unique pricing model. Don't be stuck to these. I don't know what the business is you're going to build, but be very unique. You know, have AI think of creative ways to price it. Don't be limited to just these 4. But for a beginner, like a setup fee plus monthly is helpful for you because you can negotiate the setup fee and get someone to sign up sometimes. Like I'll remove the setup fee if you sign up today, stuff like that. I don't like a lot of sales tactics. I like to have a product that is so wonderful and solves a problem that you don't really have to do much selling. Okay, woo, that was a lot of talking. Let me see. Sorry about the we didn't get on this live call, we weren't able to finish the whole workflow, but in the video, it's all going to be there for you to go through step by step. So for the winners, real quick, we have a few minutes. What questions might you have for me? I know it's a lot, and you can go through it. So, all right. Anybody have any questions?
Elena, you have questions. Do you want to ask?
Yeah, I have question.
Sure. It's a lot to process, I can tell you.
My question was, are we just gonna find out the 5 clients and draft out the outreach messages? We are not gonna outreach them yet, right?
Right. Yeah. And if you follow the slides step by step, it's going to tell you not to reach out to them in the slides. Yeah, but don't. This is just this is just you kind of everything you do, all these tasks you do, create a mindset of like making the best product possible. So you might think of things that sparks might happen when you're doing this research to be like, well, I need to adapt the idea a little bit, or you know, this might not actually work, this part, so let's adapt that. So this is all part of that flow of building your AI business.
Okay, my another concern was, are we gonna send completely AI drafted outreaches? I remember when I tried copywriting, I used to use AI to write personalized outreaches, and I got banned from Instagram a lot of times because of copy pasting outreaches. It thought that I'm doing some sort of suspicious activity. So don't you think it's gonna suspect us some sort of spam?
Yeah, we'll cover that in week 3, kind of like selling it. So week 1 is kind of creating the idea. Week 2 is building the idea. Week 3 is selling the idea and marketing it and getting out there. So yeah, you're not doing any outreach right now. This is just an exercise to help your brain get in the mindset of this idea so that you can be thinking like the customer. Like when you see, let's say John Doe, who works at company X that you're going to reach out to, you're going to have that person in your head and who their profile is as you're building the product, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't reach out. Don't do anything. Don't get ahead.
Okay, thank you. That was my concern.
Yeah. And then also, I think Shadi has a question, right?
Yeah, exactly. Titus, hi.
Hey.
I had actually 2 questions. The first one is, do we let the clients pay for the subscriptions plan if we involve, for example, other tools that are like that are not free?
Yeah, like we will cover that like more as we're going to be selling it. But yes, to answer your question though, I think the main thing to remember is that you have a couple options, right? Depending on your business, what you're creating. Yeah. But the best thing is to just you would pass on those fees to them. That's the best way. So
we pass them the fees, right?
Yeah. So what it means is like you'll calculate that into your offering. So let's say you're offering something that has like 1,000 tasks a month. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll know that cost because you're going to have an estimate of like what the API costs are. All those costs you're going to have a good estimate, and you just mark that up. This is about more selling the product it'll be later on in the 3rd week. But yeah, so you want to pass those on with the markup. But some customers want it on their stuff and want their own custom thing on their own stuff. That's a situation where you charge a lot of money to set them up because you cannot, once you've got them and they have your workflow, you know, they can do whatever they want. So, I would propose that you always just create a subscription price, and in that price, make sure you're covering your costs and make sure that you have limits. Like, you can only do 1,000 a month. You know, and then if they go over 1,000, then you're gonna. AI is gonna help you with that, by the way, for the pricing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But like we cover the costs and we add just a little bit of margin, right, for our
Yes.
setup fees and exit. Okay. And second question, can we paste all these prompts in the same conversation in ChatGPT? In the same one? Is it not too much?
I would do it one by one. Yeah.
Okay,
In this
right.
case,
Okay.
this case, though, because it's kind of incremental.
Yeah.
Like the previous prompt, you use some of the stuff to the next prompt.
Okay, I
So
see. I see. I see.
This
So
one you don't.
we can
Yeah.
find ourselves with like 3 to 4 prompts in the same folder, right?
Yes. Yep.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay. Any other winners first? Because this is kind of their session. Everybody else gets to participate for free. Anybody else before I open it up to some other people in the group? Bushra, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I have a request for everybody in here. Titus YouTube channel, I just sent the link into the chat. If we can all go and subscribe and watch the video and leave the comment, that would be really helping him with the algorithm. And that's just a small gesture of kindness. We can return the favor. If you guys all can hear me and do that, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And listen, I know this is long and dense, and we didn't finish the workflow in the middle, but with the video that you're watching, it's been added in. So some of the people on the live chat had to kind of wait through and muddle through, but I think when you see this recording, it's going to all be in there so you can walk through that workflow. So don't worry if you're confused, just rewatch the video and you can always reach out to me. So Umesh has his hand up. I don't know if anybody else in Hafiz. So why don't you guys go Umesh first, Hafiz second. Go for it, Umesh.
Thank you. I'm having 3 questions. How to select the LLM models?
You mean the best one? The one that you can afford. But ideally, I like. It depends on if you're writing things. I like Claude or Gemini. If you're doing any type of other work, OpenAI is really good if you can use those models. But for building the workflow, Claude's pretty good these days. So yeah, Claude for workflows and writing, and OpenAI for strategy and other things, maybe deep research. It's pretty good across all of them, though. I think you could just use. If you only had one, you'd still be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And shall we create a WhatsApp group for the non-winners?
That's a good idea. I'll do that. I'll put that together. I love it.
Okay. We'll be waiting for the link. And one more, I would like to offer. I'm having a self-hosted thing, so a couple of accounts. If anybody want to accommodate or who is not having the account, they can join me if that is feasible. If you suggest, then I can do that.
Cool. Yeah, and when I get the WhatsApp up, then you can maybe post the details about that. Are the winners who sign up on, who get included AI Titus Plus? What's cool about that for the winners, and I'm just for the winner people, is that I can access all of your workflows and I can help you directly with your workflows. Where sometimes on other ones you'd have to either share with me and I'd have to copy or import it in and other things. If you're on AI Titus Plus, then I can go in and look at your workflow and find the problems. So just for the winners, I'm letting you know that. But Umesh, that's awesome. You offer that, and I'll get that WhatsApp group together. I'll send an email out to everybody on the list with that group, so you'll have it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool,
have a nice day.
You too. Hafiz, you're up.
Hi, just a question
Yes.
and a comment. This third week from henceforth, we non-winners are probably not included. Is that right? Or we
No,
can
you're
still
included
join?
every week. Every week is open.
Great, thank you. And for some reason, I convert the time that you mentioned, starting time, and I give it to ChatGPT. It shows me 6 a.m. in New Zealand. And when I join, you are halfway through already. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, it's you just put in 9 Pacific time, maybe not in ChatGPT, but just in the Google has a lot of. You could even say what time is it in, my time in 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It should give it to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great. No worries. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I know it's a lot, everybody. Is there any more questions? You can raise your hand. I'll be happy to help answer some questions. This is a ton of stuff. Remember, we're doing 4 weeks. We're packing it in. but it also is recorded so that you'll be able to watch it over and over again, and you can reach out to me. So the winners reach out to me through our WhatsApp, and then the anyone else can reach out to me through the AI Titus School, which is free. Yeah, go ahead, Reynoso. What's up, man? Oh, you're on mute. Let me unmute you there. There you go.
I just wanted to say hi, Titus.
Hey,
Since
man.
I started in AI and AIS, you've been a lot of help, and you've been helping a lot of people out and stuff.
Awesome.
Just wanted to say hey and what's up, and I'm Reynoso. Nice
Yeah,
to meet
man.
you, man.
Good to see you. Glad
Yeah,
you're here.
man. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think, Elena, did you ask when is the next meeting? Oh, Mike. Okay. Yeah, it'll be on the, I'm trying to decide if it's going to be like Tuesday, Thursday, or a weekend, maybe Saturday. And then, so I'm getting the dates set up now. So they'll be posted on the AI Titus channel probably by Saturday into today. But yeah, I'm trying to work on timing, trying to work best for people. It's pretty complicated these days. But it'll be on aititus.com/100K. So it'll be on there. All right. Okay. Yes. How much time for the homework? Until it's done. Elena was asking how much time for the homework until you finish it. So, but you got days to work on it. And remember, you got AI is your best friend. So it can do a lot of your homework for you, which is great, honestly. Okay. Well, I don't think there's any more questions. So thank you all for this wonderful experience.